Welcome home, Raiders. Tonight, I don't know what we're talking about. So says Thyst. As Convert Terrain presents the Battlenet News! Welcome to the Ding Dang Show from the CTR Command Post in Sacramento, California. Today is March 19th, and I hope you had a good St. Patty's Day, everybody. It's 2019, by the way, if you didn't know. And it is also 7:12 in the p.m. Pacific time. Thank you so much for joining us from around the Blizzard universe. And hello, my name is Pat Krane, the host of the show. And as always, there's always a player lurking about. And as I hinted, tonight, from Lagging Balls, it's Thyst!
Did you just call me a lurker?
I said you were lurking about.
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
You're not wrong.
You're not a lurker, you're just lurking.
Okay.
You know, it's a little different.
Just a little.
Hi, Thyst!
Hi, Pat.
How are you doing this fine eve?
I'm so good. I am so ready to talk about Blizzard stuff because that is literally all I care about in the whole world. Wow.
Well, you're in for a treat then because we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, that's for sure.
Really?
Yeah, because we're going to talk about World of Warcraft.
Oh!
You like that game?
I love that game.
Right. We're going to talk a little bit about Overwatch. Because now Baptiste is out.
Yes,
so
he is.
Pretty cool.
He's live.
We've also got some Hearthstone on the way because there was an announcement there as well from Dave Kozak, who has, I think Dave Kozak has one of the best voices of all of,
what I was gonna say.
Like of all of the developers that announce things. Dave Kozak has got one of the better voices, I think.
Oh, yeah.
More expressive voices, I should say it that way. Not better.
He sounds like an eccentric wizard.
He really does. He really does.
He might actually be an eccentric wizard.
And by the way, there were also some changes to Heroes of the Storm this week that were announced.
What?
Yeah, so we'll talk about that, and we'll see what we can come up with. I know that we're not huge Heroes of the Storm players, but there were some things, and it does seem from reading Reddit that people are kind of enjoying these changes that are being made.
Yes.
Since the big hubbub of a few weeks ago.
Hubbub?
Yeah, hubbub. Well, the HGC hubbub, where they kind of.
Yeah.
There was some bad, and then there was moving some of the developers, but this seems like they're making some positive headway with Heroes of the Storm, so that's good. Plus we missed something in Diablo that we need to get to.
Yes, it's very important and very exciting.
Right, but first, before we do that, let's talk a little bit about ourselves because we love doing that. Because we're self-serving. And so let me ask you, what have you been up to in the last couple of weeks? Because we were off last week. So what have you been up to?
Let's see. Still grinding on that old hamster. Still loving it. But getting... it's weird when you're trying to get good at something and trying to establish not a new main, but just another mainstay in the stable of heroes that is Overwatch. Right. Because if they start working out, you want to get on your main, and that's not how you learn. That being said, of course, it's important to switch up heroes a lot in Overwatch, but I will literally just switch from hamster to diva and back again, depending on how I feel, and then Moira in between.
I found out in a weird way because I was playing like mystery heroes or something like that. That I'm actually not too bad at oh boy, not Zenyatta, not.
Is it Zarya?
It is Zarya. Thank you. I totally lost it for a second because you were talking about Diva, and I'm like going, now. But yeah, it's Zarya. Okay. Apparently, I'm not a terrible Zarya player because not only did I stay alive the entire time for a Mystery Heroes game as Zarya, but I also got play of the game.
Whoa!
With a perfectly placed grav and a couple of... Because of Overwatch League. I've been watching Overwatch League. I know how they play stuff. And so then now I kind of placed my ultimate right where I needed to kill a bunch of folks. It was nice.
Overwatch League is very beneficial and educational. And I love a good Zarya. She helps me out every time.
Right.
Ooh, I love a good Zarya.
Right. So, yes, and I got applauses from people. I don't know if I did. I don't know if I did. I think I got... No.
Hey, if you want to bubble my hamster, you go right ahead anytime, okay?
That sounds weird. But okay, yeah, I'll do it.
Bubble my hamster.
All right. How about WoW? What's going on in WoW with you?
Let's see. We're progging heroic. We got opulence down fairly quickly. I think in like 2 pulls or something like that.
Nice.
And we're progging on Rosticon. We're having a bit of trouble with finding new members. We lost a few people to IRL reasons until the next tier. So, and I hate when that happens, especially in the middle of heroic prog.
Yeah.
Like you get so far with your established team, and then real life happens. Like, there's no animosity like that. It's just real life happens, and you have to deal with that sometimes. And it just sucks, like hugging or trying out new people, because you're not wasting your raid night, but then your raid night turns into progging and et cetera, and it's hard to do that.
So how many people are you short now?
Oh geez, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish.
Wow,
yeah,
that's tough.
And and a few of them are going on some work trips as well. So it's been a little chaotic, but this is what happens with an established raid team who are all adults with jobs and kids and school and stuff like that too. So
right.
But I'm still loving BFD so much, and I don't know, the heroic prog has been really nice and the drops have been decent. So I don't know, despite tanking the IRL boss, like it's been so much fun, and I'm just really
it is pretty good. As far as for me, I was trapped in IRL for a long time over the last couple of weeks because I went to Colorado and then I had to face the weather boss twice.
Oh God!
And then I had to drive across country because the weather boss was too much. So we wiped on the weather boss, and I had to hitchhike west essentially.
Stupid Jaina.
And I made it. Yeah, Jaina just exploded. You know when she freezes the ship, goes, psh, you thought I was running? Psh. That's what she did in Colorado. And everybody in Colorado went, wait, hold on a sec. I know somebody plays Alliance. What's going on? What is happening? So yeah, that happened in Colorado. So then I had to drive back. And I was, so yeah, that was my life. So now I'm trying to get caught up again in World of Warcraft, especially. But over the last couple of weeks, a bunch of stuff has happened, and so maybe we should just get right to that with the news. First up, we are always, going to talk about World of Warcraft.
A clever strategy.
Thank you, Thrall. And so. All of the 815 stuff dropped last week, as we know, as is the thing.
Stuff.
And for that, Blizzard, you get the big applause.
Yay! Thank you, Glenn.
So we've got a bunch of new content to go through, and it's not necessarily a huge patch, but there is a lot of stuff that kind of comes with it as almost kind of a bonus in a lot of ways.
I was thinking like a huge bonus.
Right. Of course you were. So first
What's
up,
that supposed to mean?
I don't know. So first up, so we have the war campaign continues, and I found out, that you do have to be caught up in your war campaign because I have a couple of alts that they have no hope right now of catching up.
Someday,
yeah. But you can kind of go through this, and in the end, I guess everybody kind of sees the same things. Right?
Yeah.
I know that for the Alliance side of things, we go the new war campaign. It takes you to Freehold. You meet up with Valera for some reason, and you don't try to kill her, and she doesn't try to kill you guys, which is great. And then we go through this thing, and then all of a sudden we get a surprise cinematic.
Yes, that cinematic. Like, are we gonna spoil it here? Are we gonna talk about it?
I mean, it's been out for a week. I think that general spoilery is probably okay.
General spoilery?
Yeah. But before we get to the general spoilery, why don't you talk about the Horde side leading up to the thing?
What thing? I don't know what you're talking about.
To the spoiler, to the cinematic. What do you guys do on the Horde side that is so awesome?
Well, we meet up with Bane. We figure out what Bane's been up to.
Yeah.
If you read the book, you kind of know what he's been thinking, He
doesn't like the way things are going.
No, he doesn't. And
he's like most of the players in 8.0. He's like, oh my God, what is going on? She set fire to this tree. I don't know if I agree with it or not. She seems a little weird.
She seems a little weird, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's talking with Valera as well. We locate some guy named Derek Proudmore.
Yeah.
And apparently he's related somehow to Jaina.
His brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was being facetious, but yeah.
No.
And that leads to the cinematic on the Horde side, and I guess if we're spoiling it,
and for the Alliance side too, we both get this spoiler, right? Because you can go along with Bane to go see the cinematic if you so choose. You don't have to. I think that's part of the thing, right? You don't have to go.
I thought that you did have to.
Oh, I know that the Alliance side you have to go. I'm kind of glad to go. I'm fine with going.
Yeah, well, that was what I was confused about, because, obviously I wanted to, but I wasn't sure if we had a choice or not, and I read that people weren't finding a choice, and then I wondered, maybe this part of the story is too important to, close off from people who decided to go with Sylvanas instead of Saurfang.
Yeah.
In the quest before the patch, I don't know, but, I think everybody should know what's going on here, because Bane is bringing Jaina's brother as, a sign of peace or trust or something,
or something against Sylvanas, right?
Yeah.
It's either I think it's, and Bane kind of says it at the end of the cutscene, is that you have to be true to your nature.
Yeah.
And this is him being true to his nature. He can't, Sylvanas was going to try to use Derek as this big thing where it was going to be like, oh, we're going to use Derek to get back at the Alliance somehow.
Yeah.
We'll fill him with plague and send him all over to the Alliance side. And Bane essentially steals him away and reunites him with his sister.
Yeah, he says that the Horde has a sickness, and he can't stand by and let it be that way anymore. And
that's right.
Jaina tells Bane that, they're going to kill you for this, and probably not just you. And he's like, well, what's living if you can't live in your true nature or something like that. But
right.
I don't know, as a proud Horde member, I don't know. This is all very conflicting, and I'm okay with being conflicted like this. It's not necessarily Horde against Horde, really. It's more just Horde against what Sylvanas is planning, I guess. And I did choose to go with Saurfang because the Horde that I follow and the Horde that I believe in is the one that, would have showed more honor throughout this entire ordeal. But
Yep.
Sylvanas doesn't have those same ideals. So what Bane is doing, it makes me uncomfortable, sure. And especially because I know that, when Sylvanas finds out, because there's no question she's definitely going to, like, what's going to happen to the Tauren? And I have such a soft spot for Tauren. I don't know.
It's the fur, isn't it? It's
But
they're gentle people.
Exactly. And like
they're a gentle cow people. It's
on a ultra personal note, like being a cow person was what drew me to play World of Warcraft in the first place, like when it came out in vanilla, because in Warcraft 3 you get the Tauren with their big like war totems and stuff, and I just really love cows. Okay, so but yeah, it's just honestly though, like all of this confliction and all of this speculation and worrying about everything, like I like it. It's great. I mean, that's great storytelling, isn't it? Like that's compelling content right there.
It is. And knowing that there is somebody who is going to check the power that's in charge.
Yeah.
That's kind of reassuring in some ways as well. So that leads me to the question: when are you going to run for War Chief officially?
I've announced my candidacy many times. Actually, it wasn't even me at first. People believe in my horde. If you believe in my horde, let me know.
Right.
Well, I don't know, like one horde under Thyst 2020, maybe 2021.
All right.
Something like that.
All right.
I'll start my campaign at BlizzCon this year. You can cast your vote. I'll kiss babies and take photos. It's all good.
I'll kiss hands and shake babies.
I'll do whatever you want.
Don't do it that way. Don't do it that way.
Oh, okay. I won't shake any babies.
No, please don't.
But yeah, my horde would be like, I don't know, honor above everything.
Okay.
But we work on being defensive.
Kind of the Sourfang platform, generically speaking.
But if the Alliance messes with us, they experience the full wrath of the Horde without question.
Oh.
Otherwise, just leave us alone. Let us do our thing.
I gotcha. All right.
It sounds good.
Yeah. That sounds all right.
Mm-hmm.
And the next expansion is not going to be an Alliance versus Horde expansion like this one.
No.
Well, I mean, it still will have. Don't worry, it'll still have those elements. That's not what it'll always have those elements, but let's hope that it doesn't start out like Mists of Pandaria either, where it's kind of more fun. Blah, blah,
Once
blah.
upon a time,
I want kind of a mix of those types of things, but anyway.
Had bears on it.
right. Exactly.
There's one time there was this turtle boat and it had all these bears on it.
This giant turtle boat. That's right.
And the bears are like, "Oh man, what now?"
Right. And they had to jump and spin and kick their way off of the island.
Yep. And they were all just real drunk on turtle wine.
Turtle wine.
I don't know. What do you drink on a turtle boat?
Turtle wine sounds good to me.
Yep.
Doesn't sound good, but it sounds okay. Sounds passable. I don't know. Anyway, so getting back to so we have the surprise cinematic, and if you haven't seen it, please go see it. And Taryn Gregory was very stoked about it. He was like, I can't tell you what's coming up, but it's coming days before the expansion launched, or days before the new patch launched. And now we know why he was so stoked. It was because of the cinematic, and it was really I thought it was good. And,
it was gorgeous.
And then from there, after the cinematic, then we go do our own things again. Alliance and Horde do our own things, go off and do some more questing. And then we are both brought back together at the end of this thing to this meeting of the Horde leaders at Warfang Hold. So there's another cutscene there where somebody dies. I'm just going to say somebody, because if you haven't done it yet, I don't want to ruin it. Somebody dies, though. dead.
Just press F for respect.
Right. And then something happens to Bane too, and I don't want to get into that right now.
Yeah.
I'm not super upset about it though. That's just good storytelling.
That's not general spoilery. That's just straight up spoilers.
It's just, it's something happens to Bane and I'm like, you know what? That's good story.
Yeah.
That's
all
fine.
of this is good story.
Oh yeah.
It's like the power of Christy Golden and the power of Taryn Gregory, and we're just getting like the best story and the best visuals possible. And I'm just eating it right up,
cool.
And I love, it's annoying. Like this whole time it's been like annoying that the Horde is being painted as the bad guys and we have so much conflict on our side and so much going on. And like, it's forcing you to feel things that you never felt before. Well, we kind of felt this way before with Garrosh and everything, but it's forcing you to actually feel and actually care.
Right.
And that's awesome, especially when you're an adult and lame things IRL force you to care about things and make you feel things. And you're just like, I just want to escape and put all of this energy into stuff that's not actually real, but it feels real.
And then the stuff that's not actually real turns out to bring up these real emotions. Yeah.
That's called immersion, my friend.
Right.
And it is priceless. Mwah!
So on top of that, we have some more quests that are available too. Like we meet up with some friends that we met in the book that came out before the expansion came out, right?
Yes.
And so we get to meet up those guys and maybe get a new pet out of the deal. That's cool. Some of the things that we're not getting right now with 815 is the Xalatath questline.
Yes. Right, and that's going to be closer to the next raid coming out.
Yeah, the little mini raid, the Crucible Storms 2 boss mini raid.
Yeah.
So that's going to be more like April-ish when that comes out. And you'll have to, I don't know, kill a bunch of Naga.
I mean...
Oh, it's a thing.
Yeah, I can wait for that. I also, I thought that, I don't know why I didn't check. I think I just assumed incorrectly, but I thought that WoD time walking would be...
Oh, right.
I was like, yeah, finally. But Ro told me that it's not happening till May. So
no, because we had the Wrath time walking, and
which is fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm just really looking for WoD time walking.
That was last week, and I managed to do Wrath time walking on 2 tunes, so I was pretty happy about that. But then I got the loot from it, and I really was not happy about it because it didn't help me out. It didn't help me out.
It tried.
With Doug, my new monk, my new Dark Iron Dwarf monk, helped him out a little bit.
That's good. You got to help Doug.
Yeah.
If I saw Doug out in the world, though, I would have to kill him.
Well, yeah, that's understandable.
Thank you for understanding.
Yeah.
It's something personal. I mean, it is a little bit.
No, and Doug would die because I don't necessarily know how to PvP with Doug, which was is exactly what I did with the new Brawl that's now available, which is Comp Stomp. So Comp Stomp is now out there, and basically it's ABVAI. Arathi Basin.
ABVAI?
ABVAI. So Arathi Basin against AI, and it was cool. It was cool. Although I will say I got stuck down at mines.
Oh no!
Nobody was attacking mines, and so I'm like going, well, I'll go down and secure mines.
You're just chilling there the whole time, and nobody came over.
No, I mean every once in a while, you get one of those.
You hardly saw any action.
I get one of those like there was an AI DK, there was an AI S priest, stuff like that, but.
That's the worst. And that always seems to happen to me in like regular Battleground Arathi Basin. People zoom past the farm immediately, and then I'm like, oh, okay. So you turn around and like go to the farm, and then nobody shows up at the farm. Maybe like one Alliance rogue will like try to sap me at some point, but usually nobody. And so you're just standing there, and like you can't leave because you're helping out the map.
Right.
But you want to because you went into this BG to like wail on people, and you don't get to wail on anybody. And
I know.
spill on people on a regular basis, or else I get really angry.
And then when you're down at the mines, you can't see anything. At least if you're up at the lumber mill, you get a nice view.
That's true. You can watch the action.
That's right. You can see everything kind of unfold, and you get distracted, and then somebody knocks you off the cliff, and then you die. That's okay. That's all part of the deal. Or like a priest, totally gets you and just walks you right off.
No, sure. That's why you got to play mage. Then you never die.
Little mind control action.
You just yeet back onto the ledge.
Oh. Yeah.
That always messes people out. They think they think that they've got me. They just they push me off the edge, and I'm like, yeah, I was waiting for that, and just blink right back on, and just bring the thunder, except not, because I'm a fire mage.
Right.
Oh. They don't expect it. That's the key, Pat. Always do the unexpected.
You would expect that, though, because,
no.
You should.
The opposite of what they expect.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unexpected.
But it's actually kind of cool. So ABVAI, this comp stomp thing, it actually was okay. It wasn't like super difficult PvP or anything like that, but it seemed plausible from what I saw.
Does it feel like you're playing against actual people? Because I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, the interesting thing is when you play against them, as soon as they get hurt to half health, they go for a health pack somewhere, and as long as you can steal it from them, then you're good.
What?
Yeah, they'll go for the health pack on the wagon down at the mine.
Oh, those jerks. They're not supposed to be that smart.
Well, yeah. So they have a little bit of smarts about them, so that's cool. I like it.
So.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. So
this is great because this is the first iteration of AI. It's just going to get even better from here because we're going to learn so much.
Right.
Doing these brawls,
yes.
And then who knows what they're going to use this for? We may never have to play with another human being again.
What?
I won't have to deal with anybody.
It'll be raiding with AI. It'll be all this stuff with AI.
Yeah.
And by the way, so also along with all of this stuff, we also have the new allied races. We have the Kulturians and the new trolls, the Zandalari.
Yes.
And my favorite part of this was something on Reddit and then on Twitter, or maybe Twitter and then Reddit, was a picture of a Princess Bride reuniting of Fezzik and what's his name and the other guy.
What's his name and the other guy? Right.
Yeah, from Princess Bride. Because now you have the big Kulturian. So you had Andre the Giant, and you had what's the other two guys' names? I can't think of them.
I don't watch movies. I play WoW.
You've never seen the Princess Bride?
No.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I don't know.
I've been playing WoW for 15 years. You think I have time to watch a movie?
But somebody snapped did a screenshot of these three guys, and it looked just like Princess Bride. So
that's pretty cool.
I thought it was cool.
Do you think they'll put it in game like they did with Winnie the Pooh randomly?
I think what they should do. Well, actually, I think what somebody should do is somebody should redo the entire Princess Bride now that we have Kulturians with every Andre the Giant scene. So just use the audio from Princess Bride, because I'm sure that's not illegal at all. Just use the entire audio. No, totally illegal. But use that and then put together a new video with WoW characters.
Somebody's going to start doing that right now.
I think somebody already has. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
But that was the first thing that I thought of. I was going, oh, somebody's got to do the full film. They've got to do all of it.
Every single little bit.
Right.
And then I'll watch it.
Because it'll be WoW and a movie.
Exactly. Why can't people just put WoW into everything so I can just live?
Right. So WoW and a movie for you. Okay.
Thank you.
And if anybody has any questions about what's going on with 8.1.5 or maybe even 8.2 or whatever, the cool thing is that there's going to be a new developer thing on Twitch on Thursday. A Q&A.
Oh, I am so ready. I am so ready.
With Ian and Lore, and sure nothing will go wrong.
Nothing will go wrong. Everything will go right. It'll be fine. It'll be great. And everybody will be super happy when it's over. So if you have a question, like as usual, go onto Twitter, use hashtag WarcraftQA, or go to the website, I guess, and then on the forums, it'll be a blue post, and you can post there. It's easier just go to Twitter. And just remember, it's more likely that your question will be answered if you are very concise, and polite, and thoughtful. If you have a gripe, or you have like a question that might seem aggressive or accusatory, that's okay, but try to word it in a way that's constructive, because that's the only way that your question is going to even be considered among all of the questions.
What might you ask Ian in a Q&A type of situation? Do you have a question about 815 or 82 or BFA in general or anything?
I don't. I really don't. I pretty much got everything I wanted. I think what I'm wondering, the only thing I'm wondering these days is when Trial of Style is going to get some major upgrades, but I know that's probably not on their radar right now, as far as, the big picture goes. But
you don't think Trial of Style is in their big picture?
No, I don't. But I don't know. It's one of those things that I get really excited about when it comes up on the calendar, but then I realize that, I've already gotten all the tokens, and I've gotten all the transmog that you can win from that, and I don't know if I have all the achievements or anything, but and I have set outfits for almost all of the categories at this point too, so I'm basically just pulling up what I already have for each category. It's like, in a perfect world, it'd be cool if they announced that they were, implementing some new categories and some new things that you can win, I guess. And maybe a few new things too. I don't know. But like, they upgraded it a little while ago. And that was fun, but I don't, maybe I'm just really good at it and I just keep winning, and that's why it's, not as interesting.
Maybe I just keep winning, and so that's why it's not interesting anymore. It's because I'm just too good at it. So
good at it.
Maybe that's it.
Probably. I hope not though.
All I need out of my transmog is just a weird outfit. That's it. As long as I have a weird outfit for every guy that I could just walk around in every day, and it kind of fits the lore that I've made up in my head about them, that's great. Like,
why are your guys always mostly nude?
Like, the druids are mostly nude because they're in the forest a lot, so they don't care. My monk, he has, I always transmog him to not have any shoulder pads, not have any helmet, and always be like in as bare a foot as possible, because he's a monk, right?
Sure.
So just, he punches with his fists and he kicks with his feet, no shoes on, no nothing. He doesn't need that crap. He just goes and beats the hell out of people with the bare knuckle brawling. That's it. So
can we just back up a little bit? Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
They're mostly nude because they live in the forest?
Yeah.
What do you think people do when they go to the forest, Pat? Like,
there aren't any stores around, so they got to look as wild as possible. That's
okay. But are you basing this on like your forest preferences? Because I'm just saying, you hike a lot in the woods, and you often get Guy Fieri following you, and I'm just wondering what you might be wearing in the woods if you think that nudity is the proper forest attire.
So they're not nude. But like my night elf druid, he has the tier 1 shoulders, which are the branches, brambles and such. And I also have the tier 1 headpiece, so it's just horns sticking up out of his hair. It's just really weird stuff that I think some sort of crazed lunatic from the forest would wear
Are you not a crazed lunatic from the forest yourself?
I like the idea of hobo druid. That's it.
Is that just an in-game thing, or should we be worried?
No, that's the lifestyle right
Where
there.
are you hiding your bindle, Pat Krane?
It's right over there. It's just
I knew it.
Just right off camera. So no big deal. No big deal. So if you guys have a question, make sure to I'm trying to get back on track. Make sure to ask it via Twitter or on the forums. Now, really.
Yeah, do it now.
Do it now, and then on Thursday afternoon, the Pacific time, it'll come out. We'll all have a good time. We'll all make fun of Josh somehow. Probably.
We are going to have a great time watching.
Yes, and we'll probably we will probably Ian will probably have something very pithy to say. Sure.
He will not.
He always has something that's weird and kind of a little biting, maybe, but it's
fine. The thing is, though,
people
don't understand.
He's quippy.
He is very quippy. Yeah. Nobody gets this, but Ian Hazacostas is a meme lord, and everything he says, whether it's true or not, is sarcastic and so dry that only lawyers can sense it.
No. I think everybody gets it.
I know you know, but I'm just saying, like, if you think that Ian Hazacostas isn't a meme lord, watch him talk. Like, listen to his words and try to, like, think about him just being a colossal troll, Not in the sense of Warcraft troll, but, like, in the sense of an internet troll.
Right.
Think about that while he's talking, and it'll suddenly make sense. It'll all make sense. And then you'll feel connected. Because I can tell you, Ian is exactly like we are. He's just ascended to a higher level of troll.
So now, does that mean that BFA is a meme in and of itself?
Warcraft is a meme.
So there you go, folks.
I feel like if more people would like accept that into their hearts, that Warcraft is a meme, nobody would get upset about anything.
Sure.
It would just be like, I get it. That's funny. And then just dab on it all night. And
just dab on it.
Yeah, just dab on it a little bit.
Yep. All right. Getting back to the news, just really quick, because we've got some things that we could probably just talk about very quickly. This weekend is Welcome Back weekend, March 21st through the 24th, where it is a free weekend for all returning players that maybe walked away from the game a while ago and want to come back and check out what's going on in BFA. You could do that now. And also, along with that, I think you get like 3 hours of playtime in Battle for Azeroth, essentially free, which is cool. And I think you could play all the old content as much as you want. It's just
you got a Legion account, so I would assume.
So there,
right?
I don't even know. I know that I know that some people are coming back. I've seen some interest from those that maybe stepped away coming back in, and
why not? It's free.
It's a good time.
Yeah, and then BFA is going to be on sale. So, if you come back for a weekend and find that it's ridiculously fun, which it is, you can come back for good.
Sure.
For less.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's also going to be 30% off select services like character transfers, faction changes, race changes, that kind of thing. So make sure to look at that. And that actually comes in real handy for those guys who are playing the game right now, who are maybe switching to Cultiran as soon as they can get enough rep for it, Ian. Why don't I have enough rep why don't I have enough Proudmoore rep? Why can't I get more?
That is not his fault. That's your fault.
Why can't I buy it on the auction house? It'd be so much easier.
You got to earn some things, Patrick.
Yeah, to earn the gold to help pay for the Proudmoore rep. I want to play a Wicker Bear. All right, let's move on. And we're actually going to go into WoW eSports right now, if that's okay.
Oh, my favorite.
It's kind of a little bit of eSports meets the game part of the game, and then you have the eSports part of the game. They're kind of meeting in this one little Venn diagram section that is eSports toys. We've talked about this. and I think we've talked about this. They've had this before, right?
This was coming. Yeah, they announced this months ago.
And so I'm going to give them a small applause for actually making it happen. That's nice. It's nice. And
It is nice.
What do we have for the toys, Thyst?
So we've got fireworks.
Yep.
And we've got this other toy that turns you into a random boss.
Right. So I was going through it. So the fireworks are either the Horde symbol or the Alliance lion symbol. We know which is better. And
yes,
I think I think if you play the faction, it shoots up those fireworks.
Yeah.
It's not like it's random.
No. That would be awful.
Playing Horde and then all of a sudden you're shooting Alliance fireworks. That's not. I think that sends the wrong message.
Yeah. Plus, Alliance fireworks are really ugly.
So, but the transmogrifier thing is actually kind of fun because you could turn it into anything.
Yep.
So
I saw a few people streaming that today.
Yeah.
They would like use it on one character and be like, "Oh, cool," and then log out, and then log in on a different character and use it and be like, "Awesome," and then log out. It was pretty cool.
Yep,
I
did that a little bit. I did that a little bit today too. It's $10, and a portion of the proceeds goes to help give more money put more money into the prize pools for the AWC. So for the arena championships. So that's pretty cool.
And I understand that some people are upset about this for various reasons, but I don't know, to put a positive spin on all this, I'm excited to be able to actually do something to support WoW esports more than just, tweeting about it incessantly and watching it all of the time, Like there's not with Overwatch, you can buy merch all day long,
And you have.
And I'm literally wearing Dallas Fuel pants and an Overwatch League sweater right now. But not for WoW esports. And more so if we're contributing to the prize pool, then we're supporting the pro players, like the WoW players who have really put their whole heart and soul and lives into excelling at this amazing esport. And I'm more than happy to support that. And I feel like I'm contributing, I'm helping in some way, I'm kind of owning this in some way, and having the toy itself is fun. But to me, it's like a status symbol. It's like, I support WoW esports and here's proof. And I love WoW esports and here's proof.
To me, it's all about the toy. I don't care about the esport. No, I'm kidding. I do like that it helps support them. It's 25% goes to the final dollar amount that they can get for the prize pool. It's not terribly a lot because it's just a couple of bucks per person, but at the same time, it's a couple bucks more per person. So
I don't know, if you have a problem with it, don't buy it. Easy.
Yeah.
But
or just get the gold up and
or that too.
Do it that
way. Or buy it because you like toys in Warcraft. But either way, if you like the toy, if you like WoW esports, if you just like WoW in general, if you like supporting World of Warcraft, buy it. It's fun.
I'm cool with that.
Don't.
I'm cool with that.
No, whatever.
Another esports thing that is coming up. Actually, it is coming up this weekend. It starts, and that is the MDI, the Mythic Dungeon International time trials start on the 23rd. So big applause for that. And for those guys that like the MDI, and if you love PvE, this is perfect because it's going to be starting on the 30th. We'll be able to watch the best teams of NA, Latin America, and the EU go and do the time trials. Essentially, go head to head.
Yes.
Right. And then the following weekend. So March 23rd, the time trials start for the NA, LA, EU, Latin America. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. I was like, Los Angeles, European?
Latin American. And then March 30th, it goes for MDI East, which is China and Taiwan and Korea and so on. And Australia and New Zealand should include those guys. So MDI West starts the time trials this weekend, but then the following weekend, they go head to head in the best of the 8 best teams go head to head, right?
Yeah.
And then, so the following weekend after that is MDI East, 8 best teams going head to head. And then that continues for a while. I'm not sure how long, though.
I don't know. I hardly know. Honestly, I don't know.
I was looking at the schedule and I was like going, well, I see that it's happening at least twice.
Yeah.
But I don't see it any more than twice. So I don't know.
I try my best to understand. But what I do know is like this is so exciting, and it used to be invitational. Now it's international. It's exciting. There's I heard there's like more teams that have qualified than ever before. I've heard that MDI is bigger than ever before. More people are interested in it. It's going to be even bigger than it was last year. And like this esport is like what, 3 years old now ish?
That's cool. I love it.
And so cool. And I just, for anybody listening who doesn't really like esports or hasn't checked out the MDI, if you play WoW at all, I would assume that you have done some kind of dungeon content at some point, even if you haven't run any dungeons in this expansion, you still understand the gist of like what you need to do in a dungeon, right?
Right.
Like I would say most WoW players know that. So if you watch this, and even if you don't really get the rules or understand what's going on, you can watch this esport and still get it,
Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
If you're having trouble getting into esports, just understanding a few mechanics can go a really, really long way, because once you have that understanding of something, that's like, the bones of it, that's your base. And then you start understanding more. It's like, if you didn't play Overwatch at all and you watched Overwatch League, it would be a huge mess and you wouldn't get it. You'd probably get frustrated and you wouldn't want to learn because it's so fast paced, right? So I'm just saying, if you're a WoW player and you're considering getting into esports and you're looking for something to watch and you're looking for, a team to support, this is the esport for you, because you've done dungeon content. You've probably done dungeon content in this expansion. You'll see dungeons you've been in. You'll experience some mechanics that you yourself have gone up against. And it's going to be freaking cool to see like the best of the best go up against these massive keys and these horribly annoying affixes and just like these dire situations, and to figure out like to watch how these people like figure it out and get past it. And like when they pull a whole room on a huge key with massive affixes and you're just like biting your nails and they pull off some amazing stunt, like it's just so exciting. And it's I don't know.
And because it's on the tournament realm, it's all equal, all the gear is 415 gear, and then they have all of the trinkets and all the things that they ever need to make sure that they can deck out their gear as much as possible. And so that's going to be really cool. I just really like that there is, it seems like there is a place now for everything, because before the MDI, we had the raid, the
raid,
the exhibition of the top raid teams. Well,
yeah,
quote unquote top raid teams. Going head to head, and that was always kind of messy and kind of weird. And I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, because that was at BlizzCon every year,
of course.
And now we have like Method. They live streamed everything, and it was actually really great. And I hope that we can expand on that for every new raid tier from now on. I hope that they'll be streaming all of that stuff and kind of build it somehow. I think that would be really great.
Absolutely.
But now we have MDI, which is the other part of PvE, which is all about dungeons and stuff like that. And then we've got the PvP side, which is AWC, and the arena side. So there's lots of different WoW things to watch now, more than ever before, which is really cool, even for a game that is, almost, well, it's over 14 years old, right? So
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool that it's all being figured out, and some of it's community based and some of it is not. So yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun to watch.
Speaking of all the WoW esports, let's talk a little bit about AWC. Let's talk about Arena, because we are coming up to the end of the spring season for AWC. last cup is this weekend before the LAN tournament, which will be in, I think, 2 weeks after that.
I think so, yeah. Let me just say.
Yeah.
It's been a long week with no AWC.
Yeah, they didn't have it this last weekend. They were off this last weekend. So, like, Sea-Doo and everybody got to rest up a little bit. And they were like, oh, this is weird. Not having to go, like, all weekend long.
Yeah, well, it's been a process. And, like, the worst part is, like, there's just so much AWC in such a short amount of time every week that it's hard to watch all of it. But
there's a ton of AWC, and so for the most part, what I do is I really try to make sure to pay attention on Sundays.
Yes,
because there's Overwatch League too, and I gotta watch at least some of that.
I know it's hard. So sometimes it literally comes down to like, okay, what team is playing which esport right now? Because both are on, and like, what am I going to do? Am I going to be more excited to see Super Frogs, or am I going to be more excited to see Dallas Fuel, or like, what's going on? Luckily, that's never happened at the same time, but I'm sure it will at some point.
You can always do multiple screens and all that kind of stuff, but
but it's hard, Patrick.
It's very difficult. Then you got to decide which audio stream you're going to listen to and all that kind of stuff.
It's a good problem to have,
but yeah, it's not bad. So for NA, it's looking like there are 3 teams that are really shaping up to be super awesome right now, and that is Super Frogs.
Yes.
They are already super just because of the name. The Boys.
Yep.
Spelled normal. So it's kind of weird.
Boys.
It's not BOIS or anything like that. It's not funky. It's just the Boys. And then we also have Method Orange. Those are the top 3 in NA. Do you have a favorite among those guys?
I love Super Frogs and I love the Boys. And I love Method. I'm just happy. I'm just happy.
All right. She's just happy, folks.
I'm just happy.
And then on the EU side, there's Method Black and Wildcard Gaming. Those are the 2 in the EU that are really shaping up to be probably winning the LAN tournament.
Oh, you think so?
Well, I'm at least on the EU side of things, right? I mean, I would expect one of those guys to maybe reach the finals.
No, you're totally right. I was just trying to make you,
And I think that to be honest, I think that Super Frogs or Method Orange might reach the finals. I don't know about the Boys. I haven't seen the Boys a lot.
Well, they got strong heels.
You need the strong heels.
You need strong heels.
If you're gonna win the games, you got to have the strong heels.
Yes, and also really good DPS.
Yep. All right.
And you got to be smart and talented.
You do have to, yes, all those things. So, all right, we are going to move on to Overwatch.
Oh, rubbish.
No, it's good. Because we have a new hero this week.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
There we go.
Yay, there it is.
There we go. Baptiste. And I'm just gonna pronounce it the way I pronounce it. I'm not gonna worry about it the way that
How do you pronounce it?
It's kind of a I know that you're not supposed to pronounce the P. I try to do a really light P.
Okay,
Baptiste.
well, I know you're always lightly peeing everywhere, but
I'm lightly peeing everywhere.
Michael Chu says that Baptiste himself pronounces the P, even though Papa Jeff does not pronounce that P.
I would say Baptiste. It's kind of it's kind of almost like a BP combination.
Yes.
It's a very soft P.
I love BP combination.
It's a light P.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound bad.
It really does.
When you say it like that.
But also very satisfying. Sometimes you gotta have a BP combination with a light P.
Sure. So he is now live, and I was in he's a good harasser.
Oh yeah?
For DPS players on the opposing team. Not bad.
I can see that.
Because you can kind of make yourself a little bit invincible with that hockey puck that you can throw out. One of his moves is throwing out a hockey puck that will save your life for a while.
That will, in fact, make you invincible for a short amount of time.
For a very short amount of time.
Or
so
somebody kills it. You know that they, with this new patch, Soldier can lock onto that hockey puck in particular to destroy it. He can lock onto that with his ult. And the Junkrat's Riptire.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
That's going to be nice.
So I played around a little bit with Baptiste and the rest of the gang a little bit today to kind of check it out. It was it's fun. It'll be interesting to see how they do it over at Overwatch League.
Yes, because Overwatch League, like when we come back in stage 2, it'll be completely caught up with what's going on right now with patch like 134.
Right.
So all the changes that they made implemented today are going to be on the pro stage. Baptiste is going to be there.
For stage 2?
Yes, for stage 2.
Yeah, which is coming up.
Yeah, you know that the pro players are like, they're hustling, you know? Like,
I found that Baptiste is kind of one of those characters that is better in a group than by himself. Just from my personal play style, and maybe I'm not playing him right, you know, so...
Well, nobody's playing him right yet.
Right, and so it's like, you know, I just think that he's probably better as in a more than a single, like, I don't know, Mercy's a great single healer. If you're in just kind of, you know, if you're just in just your regular Overwatch, not competitive or anything like that, if you just have one healer, yeah, Mercy or something is going to be fine. Baptiste is not going to fit into a single healer type of thing very well.
You don't know yet. We don't know yet. We'll figure him out.
That's what I saw today anyway.
Baptiste is a really high skill cap hero though. So it's going to take a little while to get used to him. And then, you know, it's like when Ana came out and everybody wanted to try her, but everybody kept dying because, you know, she was the only healer sometimes and people just can't aim that well. Yep. So it was very confusing.
Right. And of course, right now they also have the arcade version where you can play whatever character you want to. So of course it's like 6v6 Baptiste.
And nobody ever dies.
And nobody ever dies and nobody ever wins. So perfect.
Oh well.
Sounds great.
Sounds so much.
Yes, and then that brings us to since we're doing game and then esport and then game, let's go back to esport for a second and let's talk about Overwatch League.
Oh, this is my jam.
As we kind of talked about a little bit, Stage 1 is wrapping up pretty quickly.
Yes.
We now know who's playing in the finals, right? Or in the
Yes, we do.
In the playoffs.
Oh. Sorry, I'm really excited. Okay. I'm so excited. So the standings right now. Okay, I'm excited, but I'm so disappointed that Dallas Fuel didn't make the cut. Like,
they almost did. They almost did.
We almost got it. We were so close. We've got Titans in top spot, followed by Excelsior, Fusion, Defiant, Reign, Shock, Dynasty, and Boston for some reason. And then Dallas, and then Gladiators. And you know, everybody knows that Dallas and Glads are my teams, and we were so freaking close. But you know, I'm proud. Whatever. So, and I'm also very happy to see both of the Canadian teams doing so freaking well.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Knocking NYXL out.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah. And so, you know, Vancouver Titans and New York Excelsior were both, on paper, they were both very strong teams.
Yes.
And they've proven that is correct. With both of them without a loss to their name quite yet. And soon, one of them will have lost officially, even though it won't be on their official record because it'll be in the playoffs.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, so Thursday, we've got Seoul Dynasty v Nixel. We all know how that's going to go. Boston v Titans, so we know how that's going to go as well. Mm-hmm. And then Friday, we've got Atlanta Reign versus Philadelphia Fusion, which I don't know how that's going to go.
Right.
And then Shock versus Defiant, which I think will ultimately go to Defiant, but I think it'll be a really good fight.
I think that'll be a tough game. Toronto is looking good this year, so they've come out of the gate looking really, really nice. The Shock have been surprisingly good as well. So I mean, they've improved quite a bit, and the Reign are amazing, and the Fusion. I mean, all these teams are just very, very good. So
yeah, so it's gonna be fun, and like even if it ends up being what it's probably going to be, which is NYXL versus the Titans, I mean, that's still going to be an amazing game. And I as much as I love NYXL, I live in New York City. I'm Canadian, and I'm kind of excited to see a Canadian team take out NYXL. So
right. I want to see the Titan Sasquatch win everything. That'd be great.
I would like to see an actual Sasquatch.
Okay. All right.
Sasquatch. Oh, your legend's real.
Right. Watching Sasquatch.
Yeah.
It's the Sasquatch watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sasquatch.
All right. So that is going to be happening this weekend, and then Stage 2 kicks off April 4, and then again, that's going to be that when Stage 2 kicks off, it will be with Baptiste and all of the new updates that we've seen so far. So that'll be very, very cool. Now we must move on to Hearthstone.
Well met.
Because we talked about this in the intro, we now know that, okay, so Year of the Dragon is beginning soon. And then also Dave Kozak came on to tell us that there's a new expansion. And the new expansion is Rise of the Shadows. Yeah! And apparently this is a trilogy that's going to be happening out throughout the Year of the Dragon. It's going to be kind of this story that they're going to have. I don't really, I kind of understand how story works with Hearthstone, but it kind of doesn't at the same time. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, but this is a really super cool concept, like bringing all the villains back. It's like when Disney noticed that everybody liked their villains more than their non-villains, so they're like, let's do stuff with villains. And
right.
It's like, yeah.
So they're bringing back villains, and they've got a bunch of new stuff like lackeys, which are like 1/1s with cool battle cries. We've got twin spell, which is where you can basically lay down a spell and then it puts another one in a duplicate in your hand for later. And then you also have like schemes, which are cards that grow more powerful while they sit in your hand. So like one turn it might say do 1 damage, but then in turn 5 it says do 5 damage for the same mana cost. So that could be cool.
That does sound really cool.
So, yeah, a little bit of RNG with your damage right there.
I love a little bit of RNG with my dinner.
Yeah. And you can pre-purchase all that stuff through April 9. You could go check out the Hearthstone site because they have some of the cards and I'm sure I didn't explain everything quite well enough.
But you have it doesn't matter because the only way that you're really going to know what's going on is if you watch the video with Dave Kozak. And you have to watch that.
You need to watch it.
It's amazing. Like do you remember the first video he did? And it was just like, is that Dave?
Wasn't that the mad scientist thing in the first place?
No.
What was the first one?
He did it. It was with Ben. Remember they used to do them together?
Yep.
Like Ben is such a massive presence that, Dave's massive presence got a little bit overshadowed, but now that Ben's gone, it's all just Dave, and now he's his wacky magical wizard self. If anybody's an actual wizard IRL, it's him. I'm just gonna say it. I don't want to call him out or anything, but
he does have the voice for it, as we talked about before. He's definitely got the voice for it, and the mind for it, because I always find Dave to be a little off, but I mean that in the best possible way, right? In the best possible way, he's a little off.
He's just crazy. It's fine, but listen,
he's fun.
He was the first Blizzard person I ever met at my first BlizzCon, and he was an absolute sweetheart. And he gave me his card, and I saw him on the first night. And then on the last night, I ran into him again, and I didn't even say anything to him. And he's like, "Oh, hey, you." And I'm like, "Oh, me. Hi." But yeah, I still have his card. And I think he was still working on WoW at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the first time that I met him. He was working on story for WoW. And again, just a very cool, fun guy, and not a mushroom. He's a fun person.
Yes.
Not a fun guy.
Wow, Pat. That was
right.
Oh.
Delayed reaction. So I'm glad to see him now in an environment where he can be his crazy self.
Yes, he does seem to be flourishing, and I'm really happy about that.
Yes.
And Hearthstone is all the better for it because it is the most eccentric game.
Well, it lends itself to being really a lot of fun. That and HOTS, right? So HOTS has a good time being the weird kid on the block, and Hearthstone has a fun time being the weird WoW kid, right? Because that's taken off of WoW, and so you can just be as crazy as you want to be within the WoW universe. So
sure, because it doesn't actually affect the real universe.
Right.
You know what? That's right. Like, Overwatch is Earth, and WoW is Azeroth, and then Hearthstone is inside WoW as a game.
Yep.
And Heroes is
the Nexus, where it has everything.
The Nexus, where it's like Blizzard Purgatory. And then StarCraft is in space.
Right. And Diablo is in Tearstrom. So
it's deep under the ground in hell.
Exactly. Speaking of which, we should probably get to our next game since we're running over already. And that's Heroes of the Storm.
Turned up to 11.
Now, I have, just to preface this, I've been reading a bunch of Reddit this week, and some of which was about Heroes of the Storm. And it seems like people are really enjoying it, especially with the changes that they've made in the recent past, and even recenter still yesterday. They made some new changes to a bunch of different things. We've got a new event. It's called the Caldium, something like that, complex. But that stars Chromie, Karazim, and Cyber Oni, and they are, got a bunch of new skins. It's essentially a bunch of quests that you can go on throughout the event. And,
by yourself, or do you have to
you like win 2 games as a healer.
Oh, right, okay.
And you get
I love doing stuff like that.
And you can win prizes and things of whatever, banners and whatnots. Fun stuff.
I think I'm not a huge HOTS person, and I've never been that fond of MOBAs in general, but whenever HOTS has something like that with like a goal to reach, like an end goal, like play this many games, doesn't matter how many games it is, I'll do it. But as long as I know that there's like something at the end for me, I'll do it. And every time I do, it reminds me of how much I love playing HOTS at all.
Right. And it's the same way with Hearthstone for me. If it wasn't for the dailies, I don't think I would be playing as much, because it gives you a reason to log in, and it gives you a reason to play, and it gives you something cool at the end of it. And like right now, I'm building up all my gold in Hearthstone so that I can buy, 75 packs of the next expansion. So and then I don't have to spend any money.
Yeah, it works. It works. The system works, Pat.
It does. And with Hearthstone, it's nice because you can play it anywhere. If you get my drift.
Especially on the can.
That's right. So there's that. I wish you could play HOTS on the can, because then I don't know. Then maybe
we're not gonna get into this.
No, let's not.
You know what? Do MOBA on the can.
MOBA on the can. Right.
Yeah.
Right on the can. So there were some new changes. Biggest one is that I think for most people is going to be that Hero League and Team League have merged into one. Yeah. They're calling it Storm League. Makes sense.
Yes.
So for those guys wondering about MMR and stuff like that, the starting MMR in Storm League will be taken from the player's last highest MMR from either Hero League or Team League.
Okay.
Whichever one's higher, so that's what you'll start out with in Storm League. I think they're just trying to simplify it. That's kind of what it reads like to me, but I'm not exactly sure because I don't play a lot of HOTS, so I don't know.
I'm just glad that they're doing anything at all, honestly.
Right, and it seems like and now that they don't have a pro scene to really push or anything like that, it seems like they're just trying to make the game better, which is great.
Yeah, and I mean,
simplify it.
It doesn't excuse anything that happened, and it's still not fine and everything, but I'm glad that the people remaining on the HOTS team are pressing on and still working on what they love and improving it and implementing all these things. And like that's encouraging. And
right. And the other thing with this Storm League too is that now you can actually say, I can play one of two things. So here's my mindset. You can say what your primary type of character would be, and then your secondary type of character, and then they broke it down even more. Because it used to be tanks, melee, heals, or support, and range players essentially. But now they've got it broken down even more. So now the different roles that you could select are tanks, bruisers, which is kind of like a tank with some damage.
Sure.
Right? Support or healer. They're different, right?
Right.
And then you have melee and range. So you have now 6 different things that you can select.
That is a lot, Pat.
That is a lot. And I like it. I like that they kind of break it down like this. And you can also take a look at all of the different heroes on your welcome screen and break them down by those different roles as well and see where they fit in.
That is a bold strategy, Pat. Let's see how it plays out for them.
Right. Exactly. But I from everything I'm reading, everybody kind of digs it. So,
I like it.
You have that. You have a bunch of new skins. You have
but you don't necessarily heal anybody. It's like the difference between a therapist and a doctor.
Sure.
Right? Because like therapy will support you, but a doctor will heal you.
I don't think there are any therapists in HOTS.
Really?
I don't think so.
Who would be a therapist?
Rhaegar? I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm thinking Brightwing, but she likes to eat heads, so probably not.
Brightwing. I know that I have a clip of her saying something. Where is it? Damn it. Never mind. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of the new breakdown of Heroes of the Storm. And I think that, this just happened yesterday where they released all of this stuff.
I think so. So this is all it's very exciting. I love this. I love more hot stuff. Yeah. Anything. Honestly, just all the doomsaying after what happened a few months ago. Yes. I wasn't really expecting much, but this is great. Like, this is awesome. And more of this, please.
Right. I think that as long as they're talking about the health of the game long term, which is what they've always been talking about. They've been talking about how they can make this game sustain for a long period of time. If that means slowing down hero release so that they can work on actually the game part of the game, and make it more fun or more interesting or better in some ways, at least in their mind, then that is good.
Yeah. That's the silver lining, right?
And I know that this stuff has been in the works for a while, but it's just nice to see players, at least the initial response is, you know what? This is cool. This is great.
Can't ask for anything more than that.
So we'll keep an eye on it and let you know what's going on as per usual. And now we actually have to go into something that we missed the last time, which was a couple of weeks ago. And that has to do with Diablo.
Which doctor? This doctor.
This doctor. Let's talk about Diablo.
Yes, let's do it.
But let's not talk about Diablo 3.
No, let's not do that.
Right.
Let's talk about the OG.
The OGD.
On the GOG.
On the GOG.
Which stands for Good Old Games, by the way.
What's going on, Thyst?
So, GOG.com, I didn't know this existed until Diablo showed up on it. And I wish that I had, because this is amazing. You can just go and get old games for cheap.
Right.
And it's amazing. And they have a huge catalog. And now they have Diablo, and you can get it for, what, $10?
Yeah, I think it's $10.
$10. And if you buy Diablo on good old games, GOG.com, for $10, you get 2 versions. You get the revamped one that's compatible with Windows 10, and they've taken all the bugs out, or you can play the OG 1996 version completely as it was.
Why would you do that, though? Why would you do that?
Nostalgia, Patrick.
Nostalgia for bugs?
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's part of the charm.
I don't
1996.
I don't have nostalgia for bugs. 1996 was all bugs. That's all it was.
Oh, I guess I wouldn't know.
One bug after another.
But yeah, this website is amazing, and the cool thing is, like, now that there's a major Blizz title on it, Blizzard has said that they're interested in putting more Blizzard titles onto this, and just like ridiculously accessible to everybody.
If this one goes big, guess what? They're going to put all their titles on it because, Blizzard does not hate money.
No. And they like to give the people what they want, even if it means bringing games back from the dead.
Rock and roll racing. That's next.
Well, that's not what I meant, but yeah, totally. But yeah, GOG.com, check it out. Like, even just, I was scrolling through that.
Then they're gonna have the Titan project on there, and they're just gonna say, you know what, let's just release it on GOG.
Oh, that'd be cool to see, though, wouldn't it? Just see what they had and what they could have had.
Right. It's only part of a game.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I know Overwatch is, a large part of it, but it would have just been cool to see.
Sure. That'd be great. Just release all of your let's call them doodles up on GOG. That'd be great.
Let's call them that.
Yeah.
Titan Doodles.
Titan Doodles.
Titan Doodles. Hey, Pat, how's your Titan Doodle doing?
Well, my Titan Doodles are they're up on GOG.com for $10.
I wouldn't pay $5 for that, Patrick.
I think you would. If you're curious enough, you'll buy my Titan Doodles.
How'd you know I was so curious?
Yeah, you're always curious.
I am.
Right. So
what are we even talking about now?
I don't even know. So that's the thing on Diablo that we missed. Is there anything else that we may have missed?
I mean, probably, but I don't think so.
I think we covered the big stuff anyway.
We did.
Pretty much for all the different games. Talked a lot of WoW.
Yes.
A lot of eSports.
Yes.
So I think we're good. So
we'll be back next week, right?
Well, yeah, of course we're going to be back next week. I mean, the news just doesn't stop.
That's right. It never stops.
The news keeps going. And so do we. So I'm going to play this music. But for now, we got to go rest up. You always should rest up.
What are you talking about?
After the news. Always rest up a little bit.
Oh.
So while we rest up, actually, Thyst, what you got anything going on this week that you want to let people know about?
Not really. I mean, we'll have another episode of Flagging Balls on the weekend. The one we did last week, we kind of didn't do what we normally do, and we did something weird instead.
You did weird and random.
Weirder, yes, very random, with random situation and name generators and stuff like that. So if that's intriguing, check that out, flaggingballs.com. But yeah, other than that, no. I'm just working and chilling.
Okay.
Mostly work.
I think I'm going to be on Azeroth Roundtable this week.
Oh, really?
On the Friday. Yeah. So that'll be fun to talk to Ben and John again. It's been a while.
Yeah. I love those guys. And you know what? I was wrong. I'm on Around the Payload tomorrow night.
Oh.
I think it's at 8 or 9. Okay. Check my social to find out. But we're gonna talk some Overwatch League. Overwatch me.
Right.
As DJ Khaled would say and did say.
Sure. So that's that, and you can follow her at Thyst03 on pretty much all the social medias, and you can follow me at Pat Krane with a K on pretty much all the social medias.
Especially Snapchat.
And and of course, you can follow Convert to Raid at Convert to Raid on the social medias. And with that, I'm going to switch that off, and I'll switch that music on. So make sure to do that. Make sure to go over to converttoraid.com. That's where we have all the things. We have our videos, our audios, our guild stuffs, which is being revamped and reworked for your pleasure, I guess. And so much more. It's all over at converttoraid.com. We have the Convert to Raid Podcast Network, which has all the shows from the regulars here on this show. So yeah, go check it out over there. And you can also find us on, like, you know, Spotify, Pandora,
Craigslist.
That's a very specific one, though. I don't think we should get into it. But that is going to be it for the show. Thyst!
What?
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks for joining me.
what?
Twitch chat, thank you for joining us as well. And for all those guys that are at home or in the car or wherever you are at work, it's time to get back to it. Sorry.
Why are you so pushy?
So I'm sorry. I'm apologizing. I feel very. I feel very Canadian. But I am sorry. We're gonna have to go, and you're gonna have to get back to work or paying attention to traffic.
Aww.
I know, but it's been fun, and we'll do it again next week. Until then, for all the guys that Convert to Raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.